Melania Trump first arrived in the United States from her native Slovenia back in 1996, and now, 2 decades later, she is facing the prospect of becoming First Lady.
And now, the President and First Lady of the United States will take their first dance.
Melania Trump, once politically sophisticated and effortlessly commanding attention, is now cloaked in mystery as her absence from Donald Trump's earliest 2024 campaign events raises concerns.
I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Since November 2022, the former First Lady has avoided political meetings, including the launch of her husband's presidential campaign at Mar-a-Lago. This prominent hideaway has raised issues and piqued curiosity. Let's look into the intriguing reasons behind Melania Trump's abrupt disappearance from the public and political arena, revealing the mystery of her strange hiatus.
I said to my husband that, the language is inappropriate. It's not acceptable.
Early life. Melania Trump, or Melania Gnavs, born on April 26, 1970, in Novo Mesto, Yugoslavia, now a part of Slovenia, is a mysterious and resilient woman. Her journey develops against a changing political scene and her early exposure to the world of fashion in the most unlikely of locations. Her father, Victor Knavs, was actively involved in the automobile industry, overseeing car and motorbike shops for a state-owned vehicle manufacturing company in the adjacent town of Redi. Meanwhile, her mother, Amalia Ulnik, moved from the sleepy village of Raka to work as a pattern maker at Jutranjka, a Sevnica-based children's apparel factory. The family's humble home was situated in Naselja Hroja Maroka, a state-run housing complex in Sevnica, providing a one-of-a-kind environment for Melania's early years. Nav's surprise entry into the world of fashion took place in Sevnica, a town not known for glamour and glamour. She and her colleagues, children of factory workers, participated in fashion exhibitions showing children's apparel as children. Nobody could have predicted that Melania's seemingly unremarkable beginning would kindle a lifetime passion for fashion in her. Navs had a deep interest in fashion, even as a child, even beyond the runway shows in Sevnica. She began tailoring and sewing her own outfits, a skill that would later define her identity. Her older sister, Inez, an artist and confidant, most certainly influenced her creative ambitions. Interestingly, she had an older half-brother from her father's previous marriage, whom she apparently never met, giving a fascinating depth to her family dynamics. Only a few people knew about the Knavs family's secret. Despite her father's membership in the League of Communists of Slovenia, which promotes state atheism, he secretly had his children christened as Catholics. This modest act of defiance against the dominant ideology suggests a family dynamic that defies easy description. Unfortunately, due to Melania's guarded character and the constraints of Yugoslavia's record-keeping standards, many details concerning her early life remain obscure. Melania's family moved to a 2-story house in Sevnica as she approached her adolescence, ushering in a new chapter in her life. She made another critical journey at the age of 15, this time to Ljubljana to attend the secondary school for design and photography. Her love of design grew stronger, and she enrolled at the Faculty of Architecture and Civil and Geodetic Engineering after graduating from high school at the age of 19. Melania competed in the Yana magazine Look of the Year contest in Ljubljana during her first year of college in 1992, which was a surprising turn of events. She finished second in the competition, which aimed at finding new modeling talent. This feat provided the top 3 finalists with an international modeling contract, putting Melania on an unexpected road. She made the risky decision to drop out of college, leaving her formal education incomplete, fueled by the potential of a modeling career. Melania Knaus, as she was known when she started modeling, entered the fashion industry with an intriguing twist to her name, adopting the alternate spelling Melania Naus. Her adventure began with a foray into the European modeling market, where she crisscrossed the continent in search of work. She began her commercial work at the age of 16 when she was photographed by Slovenian fashion photographer Stane Jerko. Melania had made tremendous progress in her modeling career by the time she was 18, joining a top agency in Milan, Italy. This relocation thrust her into the bustling fashion capitals of Paris and Milan, where fate interfered. At 1995, she met Paolo Zampoli, the co-owner of Metropolitan Models and a close acquaintance of Donald Trump, the man who would define her destiny. Recognizing her potential, Zampoli encouraged her to travel across the Atlantic to the United States, where he promised to to represent her. Melania Knaus took the audacious decision to migrate to Manhattan in 1996, ushering in a new chapter in her modeling career. Zampoli, who served as both mentor and advisor, encouraged her to immerse herself in the New York social scene and live near business heavyweights. He arranged for her to share living accommodations with photographer Matthew Attanian in Union Square's Zeckendorf Towers. Melania's travels to her motherland were intermittent, occurring at irregular intervals after she arrived in the United States. Her travel visa restricted her employment during her first few weeks in the United States, but this did not dissuade her desire. Surprisingly, she took 10 modeling gigs, breaching her visa restrictions and earning around $20,000. She then obtained an HB visa, opening the door to a full-fledged modeling career in the United States. Melania met Donald Trump, then a real estate magnate, at a party in September 1998, which was a watershed moment in her life. Their friendship developed into a relationship against the backdrop of Trump's divorce from his second wife, Marla Maples, which was finalized in 1999. Melania, unfazed by the public scrutiny that comes with such high-profile ties, continued her modeling career, gracing the pages of prestigious American magazines such as In Style Weddings, New York, Avenue, Philadelphia Style, and Vanity Fair Spain. After a famous appearance on shock jock Howard Stern's show in 1999, where the pair maneuvered through an honest and often obscene discussion, the couple's prominence skyrocketed. Melania's expanding modeling career and her rise as a public figure as a result of her engagement with Donald Trump collided at this point. Marriage. Melania and Donald Trump's romantic journey reached a climax in 2004 when they exchanged engagement vows, setting the stage for a grandiose union. Their wedding took place on January 22, 2005, in the hallowed halls of the Episcopal Church of Bethesda by the Sea in Palm Beach, Florida. A lavish reception was held at Mar-a-Lago, her husband's magnificent estate that served as a monument to his wealth and prestige. This marriage was Melania's first foray into married happiness, while it was Donald's third in his personal life. Katie Couric, Matt Lauer, Rudy Giuliani, Heidi Klum, Star Jones, P. Diddy, Shaquille O'Neal, Barbara Walters, Conrad Black, Regis Philbin, Simon Cowell, Kelly Ripa, Senator Hillary Clinton, and former President Bill Clinton were among those who graced the occasion. The reception featured a serenade by Billy Joel, who sang Just the Way You Are, with personalized lyrics to the tune of The Lady is a Tramp. The bride radiated beauty in a gown designed by John Galliano of the renowned House of Christian Dior. The $200,000 masterwork adorned Melania as she embarked on a new chapter in her life, gaining widespread media attention. Her wedding gown even made the cover of Vogue, cementing her standing as a fashion star. The arrival of Baron William Trump on March 20, 2006, added to the record of their union. Melania chose Baron's middle name with maternal pleasure, while Donald provided the unique first name. This new member of their family added new threads to the complicated fabric of their life. Melania welcomed her role as stepmother to Donald's 4 additional children outside of their nuclear family. Melania Trump's children from his first marriage to Ivana Zelenkova, Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and Ivanka Trump became significant aspects of her life. Tiffany Trump, Donald's daughter from his second marriage to Marla Maples, has also become a treasured stepdaughter in Melania's extended family. Melania achieved a key milestone in July 2006 when she became a naturalized citizen of the United States, cementing her dedication to her new homeland. In keeping with her newfound status, she used the immigration process, namely the chain migration route, to sponsor her parents, Victor and Amalia Knavs. The irony here is that this approach, which her husband later condemned, became the channel via which Melania's parents obtained U.S. citizenship in August 2018, after 5 years of having permanent residency.
As you may know by now, when you attack him, he will punch back 10 times harder.
Role in the first presidential campaign. Melania Trump found herself at the crossroads of a historic journey in November 2015 when she spoke about her husband's presidential candidacy. "I know what he will do and what he can do for America," she said, encouraging him with unshakable confidence. "He adores the American people and wishes to assist them." while her position in the campaign appeared to be relatively minor, which is unusual for presidential candidates' spouses. The Washington Post's Mary Jordan shed light on Melania's enormous behind-the-scenes influence, describing her as one of Trump's staunchest supporters and a trusted confidant. Melania Trump stated her vision for her job as First Lady in 2016, emphasizing her devotion to women's and children's issues. She made a bold vow to address the issue of cyberbullying, particularly among youngsters, a concern that would become a key aspect of her presidency. On July 18, 2016, Melania delivered a speech at the Republican National Convention, which became one of the defining moments in her public image. The speech, while powerful, sparked criticism because it included a paragraph that was eerily identical to one in Michelle Obama's 2008 Democratic National Convention speeches. Melania claimed authorship of the speech, claiming she composed it with as little help as possible. Meredith McIver, a Trump staff writer,
We as a country enjoy the freedom and security of raising our children.
Later acknowledged responsibility for the confusion, apologizing for the lapse. This issue resurfaced in 2018 with Melania Trump's Be Best campaign when plagiarism charges surfaced once more. Her words were similar to Michelle Obama's in 2016, and a printed brochure distributed as part of the campaign had a remarkable resemblance to one issued by the Obama administration in 2014. Melania's speech echoed previous remarks, prompting concerns about the originality and consistency of her message. Melania Trump took a stand against the media on February 2017 when she sued the Daily Mail and General Trust for $150 million in damages over an August 2016 article, alleging she worked for an escort service during her modeling days. The action, which was initially focused on potential financial damages due to reputational damage, was later changed to focus on emotional suffering. The court battle was settled in April 2017, and the Daily Mail published a public retraction, admitting the charges were false and agreeing to pay Melania $2.9 million, addressed a Pennsylvania gathering in the closing days before the election, expressing alarm about society's growing harshness, particularly toward children and teenagers. Her plea for empathy and compassion stood in stark contrast to her husband's confrontational Twitter use. Melania acknowledged this distinction, noting that she frequently chastised him, but also highlighted his autonomy, saying, "He will do what he wants in the end."
It will be fun night. He has a cameo, so it's fun.
First Lady of the United States. Melania Trump took the prestigious post of First Lady of the United States in January 2017, ushering in a chapter filled with unique circumstances and choices. She initially elected to stay in Manhattan's Trump Tower with their son Barron until the end of his school year at Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School in 2017. A fascinating revelation emerged in a 2020 biography written by Washington Post reporter Mary Jordan, offering light on Melania's decision to remain in New York. Melania used this time to negotiate more favorable conditions in her prenuptial agreement with Donald Trump, assuring a secure future for both herself and Barron, according to Jordan. Melania Trump's inauguration attire received attention and similarities to historical first ladies such as Jacqueline Kennedy and Nancy Reagan. Melania's love of strongly tailored pieces in bright hues was highlighted by Vogue, which also mentioned her work with stylist Hervé Pierre. Her attire, which was mostly made up of high-end designer pieces, emphasized her careful and refined fashion sense. On June 11, 2017, the Trumps move into the White House in Washington, D.C. Melania adopted the Secret Service code name Muse, continuing the custom of choosing names with matching initial letters for the President and First Lady. Her immigrant background brought a unique dimension to her role, as she became the second foreign-born woman to occupy the title of First Lady, following Louisa Adams. Melania also made history by becoming the first naturalized citizen and the first First Lady whose first language is not English. Despite rumors of her competence in up to 5 languages, evidence revealed she had limitations, particularly in French and Italian, where her communication was limited to rudimentary pleasantries. Melania's presidency, however, was not without controversy. The Wall Street Journal reported in January 2018 that she incurred travel expenses exceeding $675,000 for Air Force jet flights during a 3-month period in 2017, when she divided her time between New York City, Florida, and Washington, raising eyebrows in comparison to former First Lady Michelle Obama's solo travel costs, which averaged around $350,000 per year. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. It's no secret that Melania and Donald's marriage has been going through a rocky patch, and now the shadows of Donald's infidelity are overpowering his election campaign. The former U.S. president has been charged with business fraud over hush money payments to ex-adult film actress Stormy Daniels.
The story was coming out again. I was concerned for my family and their safety.
Who claims that she and Trump had an intimate relationship. Daniels has also alleged that she accepted $130,000 from his former lawyer before the 2016 elections in exchange for her silence about the encounter. Stormy, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, has claimed in several media interviews that she met Trump at a charity golf tournament in July 2006. She said they were together in his hotel room at Lake Tahoe, a tourist town located between California and Nevada. At the time, Mr. Trump's counsel vehemently rejected this statement. Melania Trump was not at the tournament and had just given birth. According to Daniels, she had no choice but to take the hush money as she was concerned for her family's safety. While Trump has maintained his not guilty stance on all these and more allegations, we can see that Melania has started maintaining her distance from his shenanigans. And frankly, who can blame her? Do you guys think these allegations are the reason behind her absence from Trump's election campaign? Let us know in the comments below. Quiet girl. Melania Trump, known for her calm demeanor and soft-spoken temperament, has openly adopted a unique approach to her role as First Lady. Melania found consolation in a quieter, more introspective existence, in stark contrast to the traditional spotlight-hungry personalities, politicians, and celebrities. Her demeanor as a non-nagging wife, as she publicly referred to herself, demonstrated a readiness to adjust to the unusual demands of her position. In a CNN interview, Donald Trump proudly stated that the pair had never argued, attributing their relationship's serenity to their natural chemistry and stress-free dynamic. Melania's decision to remain silent was a contrast to previous First Ladies who were more outspoken and thrived in the spotlight. Her calm manner at the White House stood out, emphasizing her deliberate decision to face the pressures of public life with poise and control. Melania was often regarded as a homebody due to her penchant for privacy and serenity. Her decision to avoid social occasions in favor of the comforts of a peaceful evening at home became a frequent one, emphasizing her desire for a quieter, more contemplative way of life. Melania's purposeful avoidance of the social storm corresponded with her determination to maintain a sense of tranquility within the confines of her home. Accent and English. Melania made history by being the first ever First Lady whose first language was not English. While some may believe Melania's linguistic background may present difficulties in her role as First Lady, she has successfully managed this preconception. Rumors regarding Melania's infrequent public utterances spread frequently, with some attributing it to her unusual accent. Melania, on the other hand, refused to be deterred by these obstacles. Throughout her presidency, she used her language talents in a variety of ways, most notably during diplomatic engagements and meetings with foreign leaders. Her ability to handle linguistic boundaries with grace revealed her poise and skill. Melania's multilingualism served her well, expanding her role and shining a light on the diversity that exists within the tapestry of American society. Her ability to communicate in a variety of languages, including her native Slovenian, English, French, Italian, and German, enabled her to connect with people from diverse backgrounds. This not only made her a more approachable and empathic figure on the international stage, but it also highlighted the cultural richness of the United States, a nation based on the contributions of immigrants from all over the world. Melania Trump's personal life took an unexpected turn aside from her language prowess. Despite the outward appearance of unity and grandeur, rumors from behind closed doors showed an unusual dynamic in the Trumps' relationship. The pair appeared to spend less time together than planned, according to White House workers and close associates, and even went so far as to maintain separate sleeping arrangements. This unusual arrangement may appear strange at first, but it becomes more logical when considering the challenges provided by their hectic schedules and onerous responsibilities. The Trumps frequently found themselves tugged in opposing ways while navigating the intricate realms of politics and business. Melania's role as First Lady, with her numerous initiatives, combined with Donald's busy role as president, left them with little personal time. While this arrangement may appear unusual to some, it appeared to work for the Trump. After 2 prior marriages, Donald Trump reportedly valued Melania's low-maintenance style in contrast to the intricacies of his previous partnership. Melania, for her part, accepted her role with grace and tenacity, balancing public and private life and making an everlasting impact on the historical narrative of the First Lady of the United States. Trump's explanation. Melania Trump has chosen to remain notably absent from the political spotlight since Donald Trump announced his intention to run for president in 2024, a choice that has not gone ignored by political observers and Trump's GOP competitors. While Melania's absence is unlikely to influence voter preferences on matters like MAGA policy or legal challenges, it has become a bone of contention for those wanting to divert attention away from the key political problems. Someone recently attempted to capitalize on Melania's absence by flying a "Where's Melania" banner over an Iowa football game, accompanied by missing posters showing the former First Lady. Although the identity of the perpetrator is unknown, Trump intimated on Truth Social that he assumed Ron DeSantis was involved. Despite first dismissing such jokes, Trump was unable to avoid queries about Melania's whereabouts for long. Donald Trump addressed Melania's absence and shared his thoughts on their relationship in 2 recent interviews. He defended Melania's distinctive "I really don't care, do you" demeanor, recognizing that it may give the appearance that she does not care much about him. Trump hailed Melania as very strong and even-keeled during an interview on the Megyn Kelly Show podcast, complimenting her as a very good woman. He used the occasion to remind listeners that she was a popular First Lady among his fans, even mentioning her alleged appearance on the cover of Vogue, albeit this detail was not totally correct. Trump depicted Melania as introspective and self-assured, emphasizing her capacity to tolerate media criticism, especially in the face of contentious occurrences like her Christmas decorations. Melania Trump, according to Trump, does not seek continual attention or positive media coverage to validate her worth. Trump revealed to Meet the Press presenter Kristen Welker that Melania was now at school with their son Barron, and hinted that she might join him on the campaign trail. While Melania's exact position in future political activities is unknown, her absence has sparked debate regarding her attitude toward media scrutiny and her desire for solitude over public attention. When asked about Melania Trump's return to the political spotlight, Trump gave a cautious reaction, stating, "Pretty soon," but emphasizing the necessity of propriety. However, as the meeting went on, Trump changed his mind, realizing the brutal nature of politics and expressing a desire to protect Melania from its less desirable features. Public image. Melania Trump's public life, particularly as the First Lady of the United States, was distinguished by a shifting terrain of public opinion, culminating in a one-of-a-kind position in history polls. Melania became the least popular presidential candidate spouse in modern polls during her husband's 2016 campaign. However, as First Lady, she went on a nuanced path that saw significant fluctuations in her favorability ratings between 2016 and mid-2018. Her capacity to improve public opinion was demonstrated in May 2018, when she had a peak approval rating of 57%, according to CNN polling. This spike in popularity corresponded with key events, such as her powerful appearance at former First Lady Barbara Bush's funeral, which she attended without her husband, Donald Trump. In December 2018, CNN reported that Melania Trump's best supporters were older, white male Republicans and conservatives. Her approval ratings were lower among young women, and those with a college education on the other hand. This demographic comparison highlighted Melania's appeal's complexities, exhibiting unique patterns of favor and rejection across different groups of the public. In March 2019, YouGov reported that Melania was polling more favorably than other notable members of her family, including her husband, stepchildren, and stepson-in-law, with a 51% approval rating. This data revealed that Melania had built out a discrete public impression space for herself, separate from the rest of the Trump family. Melania Trump's approval ratings remained high as the 2020 elections approached. Morning Consult, in collaboration with Politico, reported on August 2020 that Melania outperformed other Republican figures in the survey, including family members, Vice President Mike Pence, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. with a 45% approval rating. This demonstrated that Melania's public image remained distinct, distinguishing her from the broader political scene. Melania continuously ranked in the top 10 of Gallup's annual survey of the most admired women during her tenure as First Lady, but she never took the top spot. This makes her one of the few women, along with Bess Truman and Lady Bird Johnson, who have never been named the most admired woman since Gallup began conducting the annual poll in the 1940s. Melania's presidency, on the other hand, ended with a notable distinction. According to CNN, SRSS, and Gallup, she was the least popular First Lady ever polled in 2021. Her final approval rating was 42%, making her the only First Lady to end with a net disapproval rating. This was in stark contrast to previous First Ladies since the 1970s, who had final popularity ratings of 71% on average. Where is she now? Melania Trump, the former First Lady, made a rare public appearance with her husband at a Halloween party hosted by Mar-a-Lago, marking their first public appearance together in 7 months. Melania has been conspicuously missing from all of Donald Trump's court appearances this year. Melania has long sought to maintain a low profile in the media, evoking mystery. However, the Washington Post reports that she is an occasional presence behind the scenes of the political campaign, willing to speak her views. On Halloween, she was observed walking through the dining room a few steps ahead of her husband, just days before Donald Trump's sons, Donald Jr. and Eric, testified in their father's fraud trial in New York. The couple's most recent public appearance was at an Easter lunch at a Palm Beach club. Despite the fact that Trump has been charged with several crimes this year, including hush money payments, leaking classified documents, and election interference, Melania, according to former Chief of Staff Stephanie Grisham, is more concerned about the public embarrassment caused by the cheating allegations than the legal problems her husband faces. Melania has opted not to attend court proceedings, but former confidants say she remains unwavering in her support for her husband. Melania's former companion and advisor, Stephanie Winston Wolkoff, portrays their marriage as fully transactional, underlining that Melania understood exactly what she was getting into and accepted it. Melania has had a low public profile since leaving the White House, but she has received $500,000 in fees from the Log Cabin Republicans and an organization called Fix California, according to the New York Times. She has also stepped into the world of nonprofits, creating collections to fund scholarships for foster children. Former staffers have welcomed Melania Trump's occasional appearance, observing that Donald Trump behaves better when his wife is present. Melania apparently coached him on specific issues, such as refraining from ridiculing transgender weightlifters and avoiding certain stage mannerisms. Melania Trump has declared her emphasis on her son Barron amid Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaigns and legal difficulties. As Trump confronts judicial investigation, Melania remains composed, according to a source, who claims that she manages her own life, her son's life, and close family concerns smoothly. Melania's public appearances in the Palm Beach area have been curtailed as Barron finishes high school there. We hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you in the next one.